Hello everyone, welcome to this detailed solutions to physics NEET and 2025 I wanted to take. That's the latest one and also considered to be one of the toughest papers conducted so far in NTA. So let's get into the details and I wanted to tell you upfront, this is not going to be a quick fix solution that you would expect here. It's going to be detailed explanation. Just slow down, relax. When you are learning, you should not rush. You should focus on understanding it with comfort. Of course, your natural speed will increase over time and you will be able to solve questions in a lesser time. That's a later stage during the final phase of your preparation. So right away, let's get into the details. NEET UG 2025 physics paper. Okay, first question in this set. A parallel plate capacitor made of circular plates. Capacitor with circular plates, meaning displacement current usually, is being charged such that surface charge density on its plate is increasing at a constant rate. So that's a point we need to focus on. Surface charge density is increasing at a constant rate with time. So the magnetic field arising due to displacement current is okay. So first of all, displacement current is very interesting and it is a correction to Ampere's law, very important contribution by Maxwell, and eventually that led to discovery of electromagnetic waves. And I definitely recommend you to check out with this curiosity displacement current, not just for the examination, very important groundbreaking discovery you can say, right. Displacement current formula epsilon naught into d phi e by dt electric flux. It's very easy to remember. Flux is basically charge enclosed by epsilon naught if you consider Gauss law dimensionally. So finally dq by dt, but there is no charge flowing between the capacitor plates. It's only unsteady electric field producing displacement current. So flux is proportional to electric field and electric field in turn is proportional to charge density, which is said to be increasing at a constant rate. So if you take the differentiation of it, you will get a constant. So the displacement current between the capacitor plates is constant. Very good. Conduction current flows through the wire, that's a different thing. Now the moment you understand that current is constant and uniform, then we can go to this magnetic field profile, which is very common. Whenever you have a cylindrical cross section wire where the current is flowing uniformly and steady current is flowing, then you have this kind of profile. Current increases linearly up to surface and at the surface you will have the maximum magnetic field. After that it falls off at a inversely proportional ratio to radius there. Okay. So same profile you will have here. The space between the capacitor plates you can imagine like a cylindrical region where the current is flowing, displacement current is flowing, and at the surface you will have the magnetic field, maximum one. Let's understand the options there. Non-zero everywhere with maximum at the imaginary cylindrical surface connecting surface of the plates. Yeah, that's the point I wanted to say, maximum at the edges. But non-zero everywhere is not exactly correct because on the axis it is supposed to be 0, exactly on the axis it is supposed to be 0. But except those points, all other points, the statement is correct. Let's see if we can get better option there. Always you need to look for a most appropriate option. 0 between the plates and non-zero outside, that's absolutely wrong. 0 at all places, that's wrong. Displacement current also produces magnetic field. Constant between the plates and 0 outside the plates. Constant between the plates, all right. Constant, non-uniform but constant. But 0 outside is wrong. So that's why fourth option is also eliminated. Out of all the four, one is correct option, most appropriate option rather. Okay, that is the answer to it. Let's go to the second question now. An electric dipole with dipole moment 5 into 10 power minus 6 coulomb meter. It's coulomb meter, not centimeter. See, electric dipole is very interesting topic even for biology students. Lot of applications are there. You see, when you water, when you study, because of the electric dipole moment of water, life that is on earth is the way it is right now. If there is no dipole moment for water, I don't know if the life would exist on the earth. If at all it exists, I don't know what nature it would be. So very important phenomena. There are many other aspects also, I don't want to detail now. So electric dipole, when we keep it in electric field, it aligned itself in the direction of electric field naturally. Our teacher used to say that electric field is girlfriend, electric dipole is a boyfriend. So they always would like to be aligned in the same direction. Even if you drift the dipole, the boyfriend, release it, it would like to go back to the electric field like that. So that's where it will have the most stable orientation. Anyway, what are they doing now? Initially it is aligned, electric field given. The dipole is then rotated through an angle of 60 degrees with respect to the electric field. So 60 degrees we are rotating. Then change in potential energy. So potential energy is least when it is stable, and that is where you will have a potential energy minus Pe cos theta. That minus indicates that more the stability, lesser is the potential energy. Okay, fine. Delta U equal to final minus initial. You have minus there, you push it in, it becomes Pe into cos theta 1 minus cos theta 2. You can simply substitute the values of P and E. 5 into 10 power minus 6 into 4 into 10 power 5. 5 into 4 20 into 10 power minus 1. So, you will get 2 there, cos 0 1, cos 60 1 by 2, 1 minus 1 by 2, 1 by 2. So, 2 into 1 by 2 is going to be 1. So, the answer is 1 joule. That is going to be the answer. Next, third one. A ball of mass 0.5 kg dropped from the height 40 meter. The ball hits the ground and rises to the height of 10 meter. The impulse imparted. Okay, this is also a very standard regular question. Kinematics is an aptitude based topic. Those who prepare for foundations from 9th class, we recommend that they spend a lot of time on kinematics. For biology students, we try to give examples of a cat jumping from the floor, spreading its legs, or otherwise somebody falls, then how the legs breaking and all that. So those mechanisms probably just to create interest we will do that. But anyway, this formula is very famous. U equal to root 2 GH. When a body falls from a height 40 meters, its velocity is going to be root 2 GH1. Right. H1 is 40. After that, it is rising to 10 meters only, not 40, because of loss of energy during collision. The collision is not elastic. It's able to reach only up to H2 equal to 10 meters there. So now velocity is going to be root 2g h2 just after collision. Just before collision root 2g h1, just after collision root 2g h2. Impulse is going to be, I think impulse is very important concept. It comes right after Newton's laws also, impulse momentum theorem. Generally we study about impulse during collisions only, but that does not mean that impulse is given only by impulsive forces. Even regular non-impulsive forces also can produce impulse. What does impulse momentum theorem say? Net impulse is equal to change in momentum. Here gravity will produce negligible impulse, we neglect it. Only due to collision force, that impulse we have to calculate there. So what is the change in momentum? Final minus initial, I am just taking the magnitude, bigger minus smaller I am taking. U is bigger than V. And note very important here, it is going to be minus of minus plus we are supposed to take. U minus of minus plus. That is why you have plus there, do not forget that minus, because velocity is a vector quantity, opposite direction you should show that sign also. Now substitute the values of U and V, root 2 G H1. G they had given 9.8, you take that, and calculations are coming nicely here. U equal to 28 meter per second and V is equal to 14 meter per second. Simply substitute there, you will get 28 plus 14 is going to be 42 divided by 2, 21 Newton second. Alright, now let us go to next question, fourth question. The intensity of transmitted light when a Polaroid sheet placed between two crossed Polaroids. So, crossed Polaroids, crossed meaning what? 90 degrees, do not go into biology crossed there, that is a different thing. Here it is 90 degrees we are talking about. Polaroids at 22.5 degrees from the polarization axis of one of the Polaroids. Then I0 is the intensity of the polarized light after passing through the first Polaroid. Then what will be the intensity that will be coming out? Okay. So there are three Polaroids here. First Polaroid will send I0 intensity as an output, that is I0. So keep the first Polaroid aside. Then you have the last Polaroid which is at 90 degrees to the first one. So this one, let us say this is the first Polaroid you have and this is the last Polaroid you have. Angle between them is 90 degrees. Then you have the third Polaroid which is placed in between at an angle 22.5 from the first Polaroid. That means it is going to be 67.5, which is difference with the 90. Total it has to be 90 there. So these are the three we have. First one will give I0. Then what will be the intensity after second one and also after third one? It's simple Malus formula. 2 times you have to apply. I1 will be equal to I0 cos square theta 1 and I2 would be equal to I1 cos square theta 2. So I1, if you substitute, it will be a series, you will get I0 into cos square theta 1 into cos square theta 2. So polarization is also very interesting phenomena even for biology students, like honeybees, they understand the the timing of the day based on this polarized light from where it is coming, and also the sea life predominantly works on the detection of polarized light that is entering there. So that phenomena, it's very interesting, you can explore that. So simply substitute there, you will get the answer, but this particular question is little lengthy because 22.5 cos function and 67.5 cos function you wouldn't know generally. So those values you are supposed to know. Cos 22.5, if you know it, it's very simple. If you are not aware of it, then you need to use this formula, cos square theta equal to 1 plus cos 2 theta by 2. This formula you are supposed to know. Generally students tend to forget this. So this is something, that means in this particular question you are supposed to know a little more than usual. If you know that, just cos 2 theta is going to be cos 45, cos 135 is going to be minus 1 by root 2, simply substitute there. You get root 2 plus 1 by 2 root 2 here, and root 2 minus 1 by 2 root 2 here. Substitute them. Numerator would be root 2 plus 1 into root 2 minus 1. And denominator is going to be 2 root 2 into 2 root 2, that is going to be 8 there. So a plus b into a minus b you can substitute, you will get a square minus b square expression. So 2 minus 1 is 1. Simple calculations only, just that you are supposed to know cos 22.5. If you know, it's fine, otherwise you are supposed to know this particular formula there. Yeah, so definitely it is little challenging, but I personally feel that challenging questions don't decide your rank. You are not supposed to feel panicked by looking at challenging questions, because most of the students will not be able to do it. There won't be any difference. Question that you can do but you missed out, that's going to actually cost a lot. Okay, anyway, let's go to the fifth question. The kinetic energy of two similar cars A and B are 100 joules and 225 joules respectively. So they gave kinetic energy. Okay. On applying brakes, car A stops after 1000 meters and car B stops after 1500 meters. So they gave the displacement. Kinetic energy is given, displacement is given. If FA and FB are the forces applied by the brakes, so they were asking about the forces and they are asking you to find the ratio. Just pause for a moment and see. See, they gave the kinetic energy, they gave the displacement, they are asking you to find the force. Kinetic energy, displacement, force. What is the relation which links them? If you pause a little bit and try to think reasonably, you will understand that. Work energy theorem. Work done equal to change in kinetic energy. Work done is force into displacement in the direction of force. So just W net equal to delta KE. Delta KE is going to be minus KE initial, because finally they will come to rest there, and work done equal to minus F into S, because we are dealing with retarding force. So that means kinetic energy is proportional to force into displacement. So initial kinetic energy, the first car kinetic energy divided by second car kinetic energy equal to work done ratio, you have it there. So from there, just rearranging it, you simply rearrange it. You can calculate FA upon FB is equal to delta KEA into SB divided by delta KEB into SA. Simply substitute the values, you are getting 10 by 15 or 2 by 3. So it's, I think it's a very simple question. Everybody should have solved it. These kind of questions you should not miss out. Okay, this is going to be answer 4. Okay, next, sixth question. See, whenever you see these kind of circuit problems, and especially NEET aspirants, it's not going to be tough there. It is going to be easy only, and most likely it is going to be on Wheatstone bridge. You should get that idea. Even if you are not able to see the Wheatstone bridge directly, you should try. Is there a Wheatstone bridge? You should try that. So closely observe this particular one, which is drawn separately here, this part, and you see here you have 5 ohm here, 2.5 there, that means half. Similarly here 3 and 1.5, again half. So this by this, R1 by R2 equal to R3 by R4. In fact, it is a Wheatstone bridge here, and that too balanced Wheatstone bridge. And the diagonal resistance is 6 ohms, which is going to be idle. You can remove that resistor AD. Then you see that the current which is coming from 5 will go through 3, that means 5 and 3 are in series. Same way 2.5 and 1.5 are in series. 5-3 series meaning 8 ohms, and 2.5 1.5 series meaning 4 ohms. They are parallel connection. So 8 into 4 upon 8 plus 4 will give you 8 by 3 resistance there. So this entire Wheatstone bridge can be replaced, and it can be inserted with 8 by 3 ohms between B and E. You see B here, and this is B. This is E here, this is E here. This entire branches can be completely replaced with a single resistance 8 by 3 ohm. Now you see the circuit became very easy. 8 by 3, 1.5, 5.5 and 1 by 3. These are all in series. Effective resistance we have to calculate this. Now let us read the question. So without reading the question only I am just doing it because I know it is going to be Wheatstone bridge only. It's not because I've solved it, but that's how, that simple it is. The current passing through the battery in the given circuit they are asking. Current passing through the battery meaning EMF by net resistance we require. You see 8 by 3 and 1 by 3, these two can be combined together first because denominator is the same. 8 plus 1, 9 by 3 is going to be 3 ohms here. 1.5 plus 5.5 is going to be 7. 7 plus 3 is going to be 10 ohms. You got R effective. E by R effective is 5 by 10, 0.5 ampere. So it's a very simple question that can be solved easily. Okay, next, 7th question. 3 identical heat conducting rods are connected in series as shown in the figure. So the moment you see conducting rod and series, current electricity linkaged, you can treat them each conductor as a resistor and then start solving it. Temperature is like potential, heat current here and there, electric current, and lot of comparison you have it. The rods on the sides have the thermal conductivity 2K. The side rods have 2K conductivity, while the middle one has conductivity K here. The left hand of the combination is maintained at 3T, okay. The right hand is maintained at T, okay. The rods are thermally insulated from outside so that there won't be any heat transfer sideways. The heat transfer is only through the rods there. And a steady state temperature at the left junction is T1 and at the right junction is T2, and they are asking you to find the ratio T1 by T2. So what is the formula? Conductivity to resistance. Conductivity will come down in the denominator. Resistivity will come in the numerator there. R equal to rho L by A, otherwise L by Ka, inversely proportional to conductivity. And one more thing, you see, wherever you have more conductivity meaning less resistance. So the lesser resistance is 2K, I will take that as R. Then the middle one will have double resistance because half the conductivity. So R, 2R and R, these are the resistors. R is not known but not required also, it will get cancelled out. Now you see it became a nice current electricity topic. 3T, T1, T2, T are like voltages there. Now you can find the net current by taking the total temperature difference by total resistance. 3T minus T is the total temperature difference divided by total resistance is series connection meaning summation R plus 2R plus R 4R. T by 2R is the current there, or otherwise IR equal to T by 2, just keep that equation there aside. And the concept is whenever the current, whenever the circuit is series, the current would be same throughout, uniform, all the resistors will carry same current there. So use that idea, you go to the left rod, the same current goes through it, 3T minus I into R is going to be T1 there, I am using Kirchhoff's law. 3T minus IR equal to T1, where IR is known to you, T by 2, you can substitute there, 3T minus T by 2 is going to be 5T by 2. Now go to the right rod similarly, T2 is bigger, higher temperature because current flows from T2 to T. T2 minus IR is going to be T, IR is again T by 2, substitute there, you will get 3T by 2. So the ratio is going to be 5T by 3T is 5 by 3. So I think it is simple only. I hope all of you are comfortable with that. It's very simple relation. Right, let's go on to the next page. Right, this is going to be simple harmonic motion question. In an oscillating spring mass system, a spring is connected to a box filled with the sand. Okay, box filled with sand. Okay, as box oscillates, sand leaks slowly out of the box. So it is a leaking box. Vertically it is leaking. Okay, that's important. It is leaking vertically. So that's important. So the average frequency and average amplitude of the system changes with time t as. Which of the following options systematically depicts these changes correctly? Okay. Now you see omega we'll calculate first. I hope you will be able to eliminate the option, but let's see that omega equal to root k by m spring mass system. I hope you know that, and k is not changing here, spring mass system is not changing, just that the box is losing mass. So it is inversely proportional to root m, where m is decreasing, so omega has to increase. Omega has to increase, omega is increasing in option 1, 2 it is decreasing, so 2 can be eliminated, and 3 it is increasing, 4 is increasing. So not much use, I need to focus on amplitude here. And now amplitude, when will it change? Whenever there is an impulse coming from the block in the direction of motion, then it will change the amplitude. But the sand which is leaking, it is leaking vertically, it doesn't apply any force. Even if it applies a little bit force also, it is going to be vertical direction. Vertical direction force is not going to affect the horizontal oscillation. That's why horizontal amplitude is not going to change. Answer is going to be, see, horizontal acceleration, amplitude is going to be constant. That means the option is B. Yeah, this question is slightly tougher in the sense that it is related to reduced mass and so on, variable mass system and so on. But the graphs are given so easily that it's easy to eliminate. That's the point here. Definitely question is good. Even for JEE it can be asked. Nice question there. Right. As I told you again, don't get demoralized. It's not about solving, it's not about scoring now all the times. It's about learning we are focusing on. Scoring comes later. You still have some time. Slowly you will improve the speed. Okay. Ninth question. AB is a part of an electrical circuit. The potential difference VA minus VB at the instant when the current I equal to 2 ampere and is increasing at a rate 1 ampere per second. So, it is a simple direct Kirchhoff's law, very simple. In fact, Kirchhoff's law is not exactly valid when the current is unsteady, but those corrections, those errors are neglected. It is very comfortable, you can apply it, not a problem. Just like Newton's law is not valid on the surface of the earth qualitatively, but quantitatively we will apply it because the error is very small. Right. So, write the Kirchhoff's law, VA minus LdI by dt minus E, because you are going from positive terminal to negative terminal, minus IR equals to VB. So, rearrange the terms, VA minus VB is going to be this, just simply substitute there. L is 1, di by dt is said to be 1 ampere per second, EMF is 5, I is 2 ampere, resistance is 2 ohms, yes, substitute there, 1 plus 5 plus 4, totally 10 volt is the answer. Simple question. This question should not be missed there, right. Next one. A particle of mass m is moving around the origin with a constant force F pulling it towards the origin. Okay, so important line. So, moving around, meaning it is going in circle, around origin, origin is center, and with a constant force, when they are saying constant magnitude of force, pulling it towards the origin, always directed towards the origin, but magnitude is constant, meaning this is going to be centripetal force. Okay, a particle is going in circular motion, meaning centripetal force has to be there, no? Right, F is a centripetal force. Now they are saying if Bohr's model is used to describe its motion, Bohr's model is also applicable, that's assumption here. That means angular momentum is quantized, that point we have to use. The radius r of the nth orbit and the particle speed v in the orbit depends on n as, okay, that relation we have to calculate. So, this is not a formula based question, this can be given in JEE mains also. Nice question, good question. Those who rely only on formula recall, they will not be able to do it. They just look at it, it is totally non-standard in a sense that never this kind of questions came in the NEET exam. But is it tough? No, it is not tough. It is definitely not tough, but interesting in fact, this kind of questions, because physics is mostly derivation based. If you miss the derivation part, physics will be very problematic. Let us see how it is. So, first it is centripetal force, we identified F equal to mv square by r, from there you calculate v square equal to Fr by m, and F is said to be constant magnitude, m is anyway constant. That means v squared is proportional to r, otherwise v is proportional to root r, square root of r. After that point 1 you keep it aside. Now, angular momentum has to be quantized because they said that it is a Bohr's model applicable here. mvr equal to nh by 2 pi, from there vr is proportional to n because mvn is anyway constant, h by 2 pi is also constant there. So, now you take v from here and substitute there, then proportionality anyway is there. So, it becomes root r into r power 1 plus 1 by 2, 3 by 2, r power 3 by 2 is proportional to n, otherwise r proportional to n power reverse ratio 2 by 3. So, if r is proportional to n power 2 by 3, root of it will give you v proportional to n power 1 by 3. So, that is the answer, you have it. So, what is the answer you will get? R proportional to n power 2 by 3 and v proportional to n power 1 by 3. So, first option only, right. Next question. Yeah, the quantization is very important. Definitely this question is slightly right. Next question. 11th. In some appropriate units, time t and position x, relation of the moving particle is given by t equal to x squared plus x. The acceleration of the particle is, this question is somewhat not so interesting for me because no physics involved in it, simply differentiating it twice, no other thing. You have t, you need to differentiate with respect to time, so that you get dx by dt time. Dx by dt is nothing but velocity. Again you differentiate it two second times, you will get dv by dt is going to be acceleration. Simply differentiating it two times, carefully you need to do it. Formulas of differentiation you should know, that's all. Anyway, they have given it, we have to discuss. Differentiate. So differentiation of t is going to be 1, x square differentiation is 2x into dx by dt plus dx by dt is going to be v there. You just pull out dx by dt and write as v. The leftover terms are 2x here and 1 here, 2x plus 1 into v. Otherwise v is equal to 2x plus 1, you take it to this side, you will get v equal to 1 by 2x plus 1. That is one equation, keep v aside. Now get back to this equation again. You differentiate once again. Why you are differentiating? Because you require acceleration. Differentiate, differentiate. Okay, one differentiation becomes 0. So v differentiation dv by dt into 2x plus 1, I am using product rule, u dv plus v u dash, something like that. Then 2x by v into 2 times of dx by dt is going to be here, one differentiation 0 anyway, leave that. So this is the expression, I have it. Again you see dx by dt is nothing but v, v into v square you are getting here, and dv by dt is written as a. Now a equal to minus 2v square divided by 2x plus 1, and v square you can substitute here, 1 by 2x plus 1. So already you have 1 by 2x plus 1, this is square. So 1 by 2x plus 1 whole cube you will get it. It's a simple differentiation. Yeah, we have to do it. Answer is going to be fourth one. I don't want to discuss much about this question, right? So 12th question, let us go on. A model for a quantized motion of an electron in a uniform magnetic field states that the flux passing through the orbit of electron is nh by e, where n is integer. So by reading this statement only, students will be totally demoralized, because so it looks very abstract, but this is very important skill in physics, comprehending the statements given and converting that into symbols. The statement has to be converted into this symbol, that's important. So they are saying magnetic flux. Magnetic flux general formula is magnetic field into area. Area is pi r square because it's going in circular path here because of uniform magnetic field, and that is said to be equal to nh by e. So okay, from there I will calculate r square, keep that aside. And we are supposed to know certain formula, m equal to e by 2m into L, where m is the magnetic moment. They are asking about magnetic moment only, and the lowest energy state, meaning n equal to 1 they are taking. So m equal to e by 2m into L is something that you are supposed to know. This formula is useful, very useful even for JEE aspirants also. L is angular momentum, which is the moment of inertia into omega. Moment of inertia for a particle is mr square. So substitute there, you will get m formula, e omega by 2 into r square, where r square can be substituted here from the first equation. Okay. Then the second formula that you are supposed to know is eb by m omega, time period equal to 2 pi m by qb formula. So 2 pi by time period is omega. This is also something students are supposed to know. It's also standard result there. Then of course you substitute here, omega is coming here, omega I will substitute from the second equation, r square will be substituted from the first equation. By simplifying it, you will get he by 2 pi m. That is going to be the answer there, he by 2 pi m. He by 2 pi m. So to verify this, even dimensionally also very tough, because so many symbols are there, it's tough. You are supposed to solve it properly by using derivation only, but nice question definitely. As a physics teacher I enjoyed it, solving it, because such kind of questions coming in NEET exam is very rare. But for the students point of view, generally they feel demoralized, but you are not supposed to feel demoralized, because this question you are not doing it, most of the students will not do it. So what is the difference there? Something that you can do and you are missing it, that is where the problem comes. So don't feel about tough questions will not affect your rank. So don't feel demoralized by looking at tough question. Okay, let's go on. 13th, a microscope has an objective of focal length 2 centimeters, eyepiece of focal length 4 centimeters, and the tube length is 40 centimeters. So I think it is straight formula, there is nothing much to discuss there. If the distance of the distinct vision also given 25 centimeters, the magnification microscope is m equal to, you will get minus there because final image in a regular compound microscope you will get inverted image. So they didn't give that minus, that means they are considering only magnitude only. So magnifying power is what? Theta by theta naught, that's a definition. If you substitute there, you will get minus L into d by FOFE for relaxed position. So simply substitute there, you will get the answer minus 125 x. X is the unit for the magnifying power. Of course, I didn't mention here, but to know it, I just mentioned here. Okay, good. Next, 14th question. There are two inclined surfaces of equal length, L. So, length is equal, meaning distance to be travelled is same. And same angle of inclination also, theta is also 45 degrees constant. One of them is rough and the other is perfectly smooth. Okay, right. So, we have the friction coefficient in one case, second case. So, it is like comparative analysis. Comparative analysis is very important. Two scenarios is given and we need to compare which is better, which is more, which takes more time and so on. This is a regular model question. One frictionless and one friction surface comparing is regular question, that is. Okay, what are they saying now? It is given that the body takes 2 times as much time to slide down a rough surface than the smooth surface. So, let us say in smooth surface it is taking t time, and the rough surface to cover the same distance in the same angle it is taking twice 2t time. So, time will be more because acceleration will be less than a rough surface, no, because of the friction. Okay. The coefficient of friction we are supposed to calculate. Okay. So, formula is what? Half at square equal to L. Kinematic equation, initial velocity is 0 because they are starting from rest. Okay. So, here what is same? L is same. Okay, that means acceleration is proportional to 1 by t square. Acceleration is proportional to 1 by t square, or t proportional to 1 by acceleration. Okay, this is one equation, we have it. T proportional to 1 by root of acceleration there. Okay, fine. Now, second equation is when you do not have a friction, A2 equal to g sin theta, only mg sin theta is going to pull it. But when you have friction, in addition to g sin theta, there is an opposing friction mu g cos theta pulling it up. That is why you have g sin theta minus mu g cos theta. Acceleration, it is a very standard results. I am sure you would be knowing it. So, g by root 2 into 1 minus mu there and g by root 2. Here theta also 45 degrees, very simple there. Now, A1 by A2 is the inverse ratio of T2 by T1 whole square also there. So, you can simply substitute there. A1 by A2 is nothing but 1 by mu, that is equal to T2 by T1 whole square. So, which is going to be 1 by 2 whole square, 1 by 4 you will get. From there 1 minus 1 by 4 is nothing but 3 by 4, that is going to be mu there, very straightforward. So, these kind of questions I think a student should be able to do. What is 3 by 4 meaning? 0.75. So, that is a question, we have it. So, the last question for this video, let us see. A full wave rectifier circuit with the diode D1 and D2 as shown in the figure. If input supply of the voltage is 220 sin 100 pi t volt, then at t equal to 15 milliseconds, what will happen? Yeah, so this is somewhat good question, definitely. Again, diode one question they gave, but really good question they gave. They can give it even in JEE mains also, it is nice. Okay, let us read that. T equal to 15 into 10 power minus 3 seconds. Phi equal to 100 pi t, they gave na phi meaning that phase whatever. So, you substitute t equal to 15 milliseconds, what are you going to get? So, 1.5 pi, 1.5 pi meaning pi plus pi by 2. So, if you substitute that, you will get 220 sin pi plus pi by 2, pi plus pi by 2 will give you minus cos pi by 2, right, minus sin pi by 2, that gives you minus 1 there. So, minus 220 volts. That means at that instant you will have negative terminal over there and positive terminal here. So, you have negative terminal above, positive terminal above, because I am getting negative there. So, now we have mutual inductance there from first primary coil to the secondary coil in transformer. This is transformer concept there. So, from input to output there is a phase difference of phi. I am sure you should know that in a transformer, that is one important concept embedded here. So, from input to output there is a phase difference of pi. If you have minus plus here you will have plus minus, that comes from mutual inductance. I do not want to explain the details there. So, minus pi, it becomes plus minus there. So, if this is plus, right, in this will drive the current there. On the P side you have positive terminal, meaning it is going to be forward biased. This is minus, meaning on the P side you have negative terminal, that means it is going to be reverse biased. So, D1 is forward biased and D2 is going to be reverse biased. So, option is 3. This is the question that we have here. So, with that I will conclude here. I will get back to you again with the second part of this solution. Until then, goodbye.